Ooh, folks, it's a little bit windy here in Partay Town today. Kind of cold too, but not as cold as some of the other parts of the U.S. So, I won't complain too much about that. But the wind's been crazy this morning. All right, so I just wanted to chit chat real quick as a preamble because I had a video that I recorded with updates for us for the Christmas season. But I decided to throw a little preamble in this just to cover off on some appreciation, I want to say. And I want to say thank you, Crow, for giving me the best chuckle that I've had in a few days as a Christmas gift, right? As we approach the holiday season. And the reason I say that, guys, is because I watched the two uploads from Ken Bird where he's all in a rant. And that's the part that makes me chuckle. And you could say, well, that's kind of mean. Well, no, not really. And here's why. Because you hear him rant on and on and on. The reason that it's not mean to me, anyway, is because here you have a 51-year-old man who gets his willies off by trying to swindle people out of money for some cheap basement paint that he claims does things that it does not. Okay, so that's why you see people go after him and not everybody else out there, right? He is sort of the target, not because people are afraid that he's going to outsell them. I could care less about that. I don't know what he sells. I bet it's nowhere near what he's telling you, but I could care less. That's his business. But the bottom line is he's telling you things that are easily debunked just by going out and doing a little research. And we've said that from day one. So let's talk about the things that are recognizable right up front. One, the color that you show is not interesting whatsoever. It's a mixture of your dark gray paint or black paint with a silver swirl from the metallic and mica, either or, right? And also the binder in there, which gives it sort of that purplish effect. And you'll notice, guys, if you look at Rust-Oleum, like Rust-Oleum silver glitter, it gives you the same impression. It's that purplish kind of binder that in certain lights, it gives that purple hue. That's all that is. There's nothing interesting about the damn thing. That's what it is. Pure and simple. Don't believe me? Contact somebody that works in the paint making business or one of your paint mixers at Home Depot or Lowe's or somewhere like that and ask them. They'll tell you that very thing. Next, whenever you did show the cap underneath your little question mark lamp, it looked exactly the way that Crow's did in the light. Exactly. So you never should have stuck it underneath that question mark lamp because you gave your gig away then. And anybody who's got eyes can see that. It looked gray. It looked mid-gray at best underneath that light. And the picture that you keep referring to is the one where Crow was showing it in the sunlight. So done, right? But all of this really, guys, well, let me add a couple other things. One, you never address the roofing material. Never. More importantly, you never address why you upgraded, and I say upgraded, you really downgraded, but you upgraded all your projectors, your junky projectors, to high lumen conference and small venue projectors. So let's talk about what's really going on here, because all of this really is just for fun and giggles. It's all melodrama, and it means squat. Why? Because here's the fact, and if you don't believe this, if you doubt this, right, because this isn't for you fanboys. If you're a bunch of fanboys out there, I could care less. I mean, I'm not looking for people to be a fan of ours. I'm looking for people to like our product. Okay, I'm not a social media guy where I'm out there trying to get people to like me. What I do is I come out and I tell people the truth, and if you want to believe that, believe it. If you don't, then you do so at your own jeopardy. Okay? That's simple. So the bottom line is you cannot make a black screen, or even in this case, a dark gray screen that is going to be highly reflective and give you a 180-degree viewing angle. It is scientifically Not possible with paints or the things that you would add to paints. It is not possible. If you doubt that, reach out to Projector People or Projector Central or AVS Forums or anyone else and ask them that very question, because here's why. Because as you make a black paint mix more reflective, your viewing cone is going to narrow on you. It's like a flashlight. Okay, a flashlight's always going to be brighter if you're standing in front of it or just off to the side than it is if you look at it from a side angle way over here. Why? Because all the light's being pushed back at those directions. Okay, physics of light. It's all being pushed back at those directions. You don't get this broad look unless you're using, I guess, essentially, if you were to take some device and put a flood lamp in it that has a wider sort of, lighting angle, you could see it from the side and it appear bright. But it doesn't work that way because your screen's not curved outwards that way, right? So it doesn't work that way. This is a flat device like a flashlight, so it's going to be brighter from the front. The only way that you're going to get a 180-degree angle is if you pull back the gain on that. And when you pull back the gain to get it to give you a 180-degree angle, you're going to be at about a 0.6, probably even more closely to a 0.5 gain. That means that you're half. Keep in mind that little panel that I showed you in the video I just loaded earlier today. That is the Partey Gobbledygook panel, the black panel, not the dark gray panel. That little panel is between a 1 and a 1.1 gain. You see the difference. So what's happening there? Well, because when you get to a 0.6 or a 0.5, that means that pretty much half of your projector's light is being absorbed by the screen. It's gone. You're not getting it back. It's not coming back at you, because keep in mind, white reflects essentially about 90% of light. It still absorbs some, but about 90% is reflected, okay? With a black screen, black only reflects about 3 to 5% if it's black, true black. So as you lighten it up, which is all that's happened here, the screen's been lightened up to a darker gray so that you can get something that's perceptibly white or bright on it. And then you throw in your reflective solid so that you can increase the brightness a little bit, get it up so that it's not going to absorb about 70 to 80% of your projector light. That's where you're going to be. Hence, why he is using 4300, 4200, 5000 lumen projectors with high white brightness. Keep in mind, these are conference room and small venue projectors that focused on white light because they're displaying graphics, not cinema. Most of your modern, almost all of your modern home cinema theater projectors, I'm not talking about the little knockoffs, their focus is on bringing you adequate amount of lumen, with color accuracy. Resolution, that's what they're focused on. You're going to lose all of that when you go to that kind of screen. And that includes any of the stuff that, the free bird mix that I just put out there. If you make that, you can see next to that little Partey panel how much you're losing. And that is a scientific fact. It's something you can't get away from with a paint mix. And all of the arguing and going back and forth is just for show. So once again, I challenge anybody out there. You get your head strong. Oh, you don't know what the hell you're talking about. Yeah, I do. And if you don't believe me, go check it out for yourself. Find out some facts. Quit going by emotion and check your facts. It's that simple. All right, so I'm going to turn you over to the rest of the video. Hey guys, Danny here at Partey. So as a follow-up to this morning's upload, I had to go back. I did an update on Monday. It ended up being about 9 minutes long. And I'd actually taken time to put Christmas stuff in it and all that kind of stuff. But for whatever reason, it fouled out whenever I was trying to publish it. So I've tried 2 or 3 different times. It takes much longer to upload the file. So I'm thinking that the file's probably corrupted. So I just decided I would just redo it, but do it in a quick manner. So here's the deal. As of yesterday, we started our installation season in full swing. So we will be tied up in installation work through right before the end of January. So not the very end, but maybe just a few days before the end of January is right now the way the schedule's looking. And we're hoping to finish about a week before the end, but I always allow a couple of buffer days in there in case we need it. That means that we would open screen cells back up in February. So I know that probably raises questions for a couple of you guys out there, and I'll address that in just a second. But wanted to say, since we're not going to be doing screen cells through the holiday season, we are going to be doing a couple of other things. But during that time, we're also going to be moving our facilities. So as I'd mentioned before, we right now partner with another team for facility use. And it's been a little bit of a complication, not with the partnering at all. Great relationship there. It's really down to space. So if you think about it, we have 3 tables. The 3 casting tables that we have there are basically 6 foot by almost 10 feet. So they take up space. You have to have space in between them. Plus, we have to have a place to store our material, plus store a lot of the AV equipment that we would be installing whenever installations come around. So it's really, a matter of how do we progress the needle? How do we push the needle forward? And one of those has always been facilities. We needed a place that we could access. Plus, we couldn't access it every day. It was about every other day and only within certain hours. So now we're going to have 24/7 access. That's something I'm looking very forward to. One of the other things we're going to be doing is trying to see if we can put together a more wholesome offering, meaning that we would be able to offer not only the material, but also a screen to go along, a frame to go along with it. So that's something we continue to work on as well. So a lot of that'll be sorted out through next year, early next year, obviously through January and probably on into February. I don't see us having frames available until sometime maybe mid next year. But if that changes, I'll definitely let you know. Now, for the folks who are saying, well, wait a minute, and here's something that's really funny is whenever I closed the screen cells, I had one individual who actually went in and ordered the Gobbledygook formula, but then followed up with an email saying, just hold that because what I really want is a screen, so you can use that towards a screen. I just want to say, first of all, I think that's the way that my mind works. I'd try to get my foot in the door if I could. And I just want you to know, and you know who you are. Well, here's the funny thing about it. After you did, someone else did the exact same thing. So I don't know if you two know each other and you just said, hey, here's what I did, or if somebody else just figured they would do, something similar. But in either case, for the two of you guys, we will get your screens. We will get those made. And we'll get them out before Christmas. I can't tell you exactly when. Here's why. Because I'll be the one who will physically make those screens. And so a lot of it's going to depend upon my schedule, but I will stay in contact with you and let you know what day we're looking at. Also, we're going to be giving away a free screen. I will be uploading a video tomorrow. Anybody who's a subscriber can enter, and we'll select somebody. I'm trying to decide exactly what the question should be for you to submit for, an entry into the contest. So it's just a little contest, just to, what we'll do is we'll pluck a name out, and whoever, we pluck out, will ship you a free screen. So up to 120 inches, any of the ALF screens. So whether you want the Daystar, the Vega, or the Sirius, we'll take care of that for you. And also, we're thinking we're going to go ahead and give away a couple of the Gobbledygook formulas as well. So more to come on that, and I'll give you some information. Now, as another follow-up to the earlier video. I wanted to show you this because this is something I forgot to do in the earlier video. So right now, my EV settings for this camera, now I'm using a Samsung phone. This is the S9, I believe. So I've got two different camera applications. One is just a straight camera. You can't adjust the settings in there other than to make it panoramic or panoramic. Sorry. Every once in a while you got to throw one of those in. But you can't really adjust the settings. And then I got this one just to see and learn, what was going on over at the Bird channel. So I want to show you something. So if I set my EV settings now to 1, there we go. So you see how the white starts to disappear. And it looks so much better as opposed to the white. So we'll get it to something here, and then we'll take a quick pause. So let's see if we can find something. I'll go back here to this video. So there we go. Get something with a little color in there, and we'll be off and running. All right. Missed it. Sorry, guys. All right. So there we go. So that's at EV pushed to 1. If I come back to 0, there we go. So you see the difference there versus there. Now, it may seem subtle to some of you guys, but it makes a very big difference in how that screen looks as opposed to the white screen. So not even paying attention so much to this. We'll go back. And you can see the white isn't anywhere near as blown out as it is when I go to here. And that's just going to 1. I've seen cases where it goes to like this. Right? So, if that's what you like, then go back to the video right before this one, and I've got mixed concentrations for you to put that together and make it look however you want to. But once again, here's what I'm going to show you. Now, I've still got the EV settings way blown out. So let's see here. That's back against our black panel. Now I'm going to adjust the settings back to 0. And there you go. All right, you guys have a good day. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us and we'll be glad to help you. Take care. Bye.